welcome to another episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. Today we are going to be doing Battle Cry for our board game. My opponent is Blofeld's Cat. Yes, this is Blofeld's Cat, the one that survived. When James Bond killed his arch-nemesis Blofeld, his cat got away. This is the Battle of Stones River, otherwise known as Murfreesboro. Depending on the side that you were on, the Confederates named him after the nearest town, which made a lot of sense, and the Union named him after the nearest body of water, when those are usually the ones we remember, but can't really understand why they did that. And I also can't understand why Gettysburg is remembered as Gettysburg instead of some nearby creek. Anyway, so that's going to be it. There's essentially the Confederates found the Union encampment the end of 1862, and the very end of it, like literally like the 30th and 31st, and came charging in and attacked them. Kind of got a surprise attack, so it'll be the Confederate turn first. Okay, so here are the cards that were played. The Confederates on the left, the Unions on the right. And essentially the Confederates pushed up in the center, really blasted away one unit that went retreating, and caused another one just simply to retreat into the woods there. The Union played forced march and moved these units up here, and the other ones into the trees. Well, a very aggressive turn over here. They were both on one side because, of course, remember, left is right for Confederates and vice versa. So, it's over on this side. The Confederates came rushing up here, blasted that Union unit. Snowball is still rolling the dice, and blasted them away, sent them back into the woods. The Union came back at them, got into those woods, blasted them, and made them retreat, and the Confederates had rushed up with their cavalry. That was kind of what was really aggressive about them, and that helped almost destroy that unit. Then the Union ran their cavalry up, and they concentrated completely on that cavalry and almost completely wiped them out. Very uneventful turn after the aggressive turn. Essentially, the Confederates tried to rally their cavalry here, weren't able to do it. The Union tried to destroy that cavalry and only caused them to retreat one space. Okay, everything happened in the center this time. The Confederates pushed forward with a couple of units, almost completely wiped out the artillery there, which is a pretty big feat with the dice they were rolling. But then the Union moved up with these guys, shot into the woods, took out a guy, and almost completely wiped out the infantry. Actually, that infantry had gotten fired up by the artillery, only took one loss in a retreat, which is a big relief for them. They thought they had gotten out of the fire, but then these guys moved up and wiped them almost completely out. Alright, another pretty aggressive turn. The Confederates went here in the center, almost completely wiped out that Union regiment. Once again, it's like coming down to just one guy. They weren't able to really destroy anything. There's a lot of just one-stand guys out there. And the Union ran up the cavalry, came around here, and killed the general. And in fact, that general was Hardee. Oh, so they captured or killed Hardee. Meanwhile, they fired at them and did a little bit of damage. Alright, well, the Confederates battled and held position, and they fired up here and managed to take out two units, an infantry and the artillery that was sitting in those woods. The Union used probe center, so they're moving their artillery up and fired at these woods, but got nothing. So the Confederates went on this flank and took out that cavalry, so they have another point. The Union, meanwhile, moved up this infantry into these woods and this hill, and took out that one stand of Confederates. So it's a lot of house cleaning. The score right now is 2-3. Alright, the Confederates did probe in the center. They really did just kind of probe. They fired, but only did a little bit of damage over there. And the Unions called for reinforcements and got themselves some more artillery. Alright, well, the Confederates did a sharpshooter, tried to take out that general, but didn't manage to do it. Then the Union tried to outflank. They pulled up these guys. This is taking a big risk because by moving this guy up forward, now he is a target. They tried to take out this entire infantry unit, but they whittled it down to one, so he's going to be able to shoot back and maybe take out that Union guy. And over here, on this flank, they all fired over here and slowly but surely whittled down that infantry stand to one stand. Okay, so the Confederates used sharpshooter. They tried to take out this general, which is General McCook. As in McCook, Nebraska. But didn't manage to do it. The sharpshooter missed, not a very good sharpshooter. So the Union did outflank, fired back at them. He took a big chance by bringing this one stand of infantry around here instead of leaving him hidden, and got 2 shots over here. If they had taken out this infantry, they would have wiped them out, but they didn't manage to. Over here, they fired over here and whittled these guys down to 1, so they're tediously on the edge. Well, the reason why this infantry doesn't exist anymore is because the Confederates played this fight back, which allowed them to shoot back, took out that infantry, and that's that turn. Both sides tried to do something on this far flank. The Confederates moved their 2 units up since the Union is missing that artillery that historically wiped them out. And they fired and managed to get a retreat thing that caused these guys to retreat, so the general attached to them and came up to join them on the hill. This is a hill, by the way. These are woods. Alright, well, the Confederates did a coordinated advance, which we really kind of need to see the whole table again anyway, so you can basically see on the right they moved all of their guys up there to be ready to go across that the creek. In the center, they moved, they moved their artillery up and fired with their infantry, and on the left they moved their infantry up a little bit and did a little bit of damage. Didn't do a huge amount. The Union actually did a bit more. They actually, on the right, the Confederates did manage to cause a retreat with the general on the hill over there on the right. The Union could have ignored it, but he was like, oh, I'll get these guys off the hill. Pulled them back. Then during his turn, he played with the generals. He was able to use the generals. He played leadership, which gives him the ability to use the generals. So, this one moved up onto the hill, went back up onto the hill. He retreated during the Confederate turn and went back up on the hill, fired across and took out 2 of the Confederates over there. This one moved out of the safety of the woods, took a pot shot over here, and let's see, what'd they do? Oh, managed to take out a little bit of these guys. And the Union over here fired into these woods, took out the infantry that was there, and now has 3 points. The Confederate 4, and they're going for a total of 6 points. The first one to 6 points wins the game. Well, the Confederates got the bombard card just at the right time. This Union infantry unit had come out of the woods to fire at these guys, so they bombarded right under there, really wiped them out and pushed the one stand back. The Union, in the meanwhile, well, actually, they didn't push them back. They just slaughtered them. The Union had one thing left, so the Union played scout in the center, which meant they could use 1 infantry unit. They moved him back into the woods to get safety and got to choose among 2 different cards. Alright, well, in this turn, the Confederates constructed field works for their artillery here and for these 2 stands over here. The Union did assault in the center, which allowed them to move 4 units. They moved up their 2 artillery units and moved their infantry into the woods to try to once and for all finish these guys off. And once again, knock them down to a single stand. This is really the battle of single stand units. And that is game. The Confederates played leadership, which meant that they could do whatever they wanted with the leaders and get the +1 from fighting. So this leader went over to these guys. This one fired at the stand that just went into there and wiped them out. And these fired over here and wiped out that unit, giving them 6 points and the victory. So the victory goes to the Confederates. Congratulations to them. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch us on commandcombatreports.com, on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And happy gaming, everybody.